Newsweek broke a news story here on Trump's abysmal business record. The New York Times found that in 1995, he lost nearly $1 billion. We covered that last week. Well, now we have more information from the earlier days. So they report here, Donald's taxes for 1978 showed personal losses of $406,379. That's $1.5 million in present-day dollars. Things grew worse in 1979 when he reported an income of negative $3.4 million. Are you sensing a trend here? Trump did not have millions of dollars set aside to deal with these financial catastrophes. His banking record showed he had an average annual balance in his Chase Manhattan savings account of $378,000, a large amount to be sure, but not even enough to cover his 1978 losses. His checking account at the same bank had an average annual balance of $22,500. In accounts at two other banks, Trump had total savings of $14,000. Other than family trusts, that was it. So do you understand that? They're really digging deep into his finances here. They did a great job doing some investigative reporting and figuring out these numbers. And, yeah, the dude was Brokey McBrokington. Again, it's amazing. He's successfully sold the facade of like, I'm rich, I'm a billionaire, tremendous, believe me. And he's been doing this act for the longest time. But when you dig into his records, again, New York Times found out in 1995, lost nearly $1 billion. Now we go a little further back here. We get into the 1970s and 1980s. And still negative $3.5 million in this case, negative $400,000 in that case. And they go, yeah, well, if you think he had a cushion to fall back on, we looked in his bank accounts. And his bank account still, you know, you could say $378,000. That was the right number, right? Yeah. Like, that's a lot of money, but he's so much more in debt. So you're probably thinking, hold on now, what happened? I mean, anybody else in that situation? I mean, you know what ends up happening. You can't owe that much money for that long. We do have personal bankruptcy. That's a thing. Now, Trump never went through personal bankruptcy. He went through 6 business bankruptcies. But he never went through personal bankruptcy, so what happened? Well, now we know, quote, based upon files from the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Trump applied for a gaming license in 1980, which led to a state investigation into his background. What they uncovered was the fact that Trump had suffered a series of financial setbacks as a developer in the late 1970s that forced him to turn to his father for financial help in the form of a $38 million credit line at the bank, which Trump promptly maxed out. This guy is the biggest loser on the planet and the biggest fraud on the planet. Whenever he got into trouble, he went to Daddy, and Daddy just said, I'm going to put $38 million aside for my fuck-up son. And then if/when he continues to fuck up, all right, son, go ahead. Do what you got to do. Oh, shit. He quickly ran through all the money. So understand everything about this guy is a lie. First of all, his original argument was, I built a tremendously successful company, and I did it when my dad only gave me $1 million. A small loan of $1 million. First of all, that's not small. Second of all, he didn't just give you $1 million. He actually gave you over $10 million. I believe it was $14 million up front. Now, when he died, you got way more because he was worth upwards of $250 million. So you do the math on that. Split that between Trump and his siblings. And he could have had over $400 million. Again, the estimates aren't exactly clear, between $250 million and $400 million. So you got $14 million up front. And then when he died, you got way more, maybe over $100 million. And then also on top of that, when you were in trouble, as you often were financially, because you suck as a businessman, Daddy was there to help. $38 million credit line. Go ahead, buddy. Do what you got to do. The guy's just a failure. How many times have we gone through the list, man, of his failed businesses? Trump Steaks. Remember that? Nobody does. Congratulations. You're just like everybody else. You want to know why? Because nobody bought them. They were steaks that were sold at the Sharper Image. I think about that every day. I can't wrap my mind around it. Who sells steaks only at the Sharper Image and thinks they're going to make a profit? That makes no sense. It's like coming out with a new line of cheese and only selling it at the Sports Authority. That is ridiculous. There was also Trump the board game. There was GoTrump.com, Trump Magazine, Trump Vodka. Everything, bankrupt, went under, goes under, failure, terrible, disaster. And then at the end of it all, Trump Mortgage Company, which he made at the fucking height of the bubble. Right when the bubble was about to burst. I'm getting into the mortgage game. It's going to be good as far as the eye could see. All right, let's open this thing up. Oh shit, we lost all our money. And then he has the nerve at the end of all of it to turn around and say, tremendous, believe me, I'm the greatest businessman on the planet. So remember, the only way he actually makes money, he stumbled into the TV show where he pretended to play a successful business person, so he made money that way, and also selling the rights to his name to put it on buildings when other people want to use the Trump brand. So everything was built off his hubris and his arrogance and bragging nonstop about how rich he is, and some people bought into that facade. So then the name became worth something, so they pay him to just put the name on the building. That's it, man. That's it. It's all a trick. It's all a trick.